We figure Lynn doesn't need any introduction.
Hello, and I hope you can all see the screen with Shelley dinner settings on it.
Yep.
Yes.
And first thing that we should talk about maybe is,
Lynn, you want to hit from the beginning?
thank you. I think the first thing that we should look at is, what is a dinnerware set? And what does it consist of? Easy, you say, but it isn't. To start with, what size should a dinner plate be? Americans will tell you 10.5 to 11 inches, which is what a post-World War II plate size could be. But it could also be only 9 inches, leaving Americans wondering what happened to the big plates. Surprise, they were never made that big. So here's a comparative look at the various dinner sets Shelley sold over the years. The early sets on the chart date to the 30s. And then,
There you go.
there we go. I'm just gonna do these one at a time. The largest plate is smaller for Scotland, because a Scotland dinner set does not include a 10-inch plate at all. As you can see, there's a total blank here, but it does include 6 soups that are 9 inches, when a normal English set would not include the soups, and a Scotland set would include 6 deep pudding 8-inch dishes. So that what you see is that the deep pudding is a dessert set, the 8-inch soup plate, and there is a 9-inch soup plate, which is really a soup plate. A Scotland set would include a 9-inch server and a 10-inch server. A soup tureen was included with a set for 12 down here, and only a set for 12 in Scotland because it was including the soup plates. When the factory closed in 1966, a dinner set included 10.5-inch, 9.5-inch, and 6.5-inch plates, but a place setting included an 8-inch salad plate instead of the 9.5-inch plate. So there's no standard set really, and when you, for composition, and what a joke on someone like me looking for a big dinner plate on an old set and passing the set by as incomplete, when there never was a big dinner plate in it in the first place, like the set for Scotland. So I passed that up. Have you? Next.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Okay, and the blue iris place setting. And remember, this number is 11521. Later, I'm going to show you a predecessor to blue iris. I don't have many older things, but the blue scroll is one of the late pattern numbers, 14291. And the blue scroll that I have is only 6 dinner plates. But I put in a white Ludlow salad plate with each of them and used a silver serving plate and a relish dish from Wildman to set up the table. What you can't see under the posy flower display is a Clausello vase with inserts in gold. The next slide is just a close-up of the blue scroll with white Ludlow. And then I tried blue scroll with harebell, which is my favorite pattern, and added harebell salad plates to the mix. And a place setting with that showing up for the salad plate is harebell on oleander and the blue scroll. The blue scroll center is empty. So this is easy to do, and the blues in the harebell match the blues on the blue scroll. My next dinnerware set is Glorious Devon. And the piece that I love the most is the covered vegetable dish. And if you notice, there are 3 different shapes of soups, the cream soups. One is Chester, one is oleander, and one is Gainsborough. One does not have any print on the inside. That's the Gainsborough place setting. This has the covered veg and an open vegetable showing. That would be the 9-inch serving bowl that was referenced in the chart. The next is a close-up of the Gainsborough. It must have been the Chester that doesn't have the center in the soup. This is the Gainsborough place setting with oleander shape, everything else but the soup. A little better picture of what the dinner plate actually looks like, which is really glorious. Next is a set of harebell with soups in a soup tureen. And if you can just barely see, the soup tureen is about 2 inches taller than a covered vegetable dish. This covered vegetable dish that's shown here, I first saw in the tents out in Newark and bought for some 70 pounds. And the rest of the collection of harebell is because of that soup tureen, because I love the shape of it so much. So you see the 9-inch soup plates with this, and close up of the 9-inch soup plate on top of a 9-inch plate with a bread and butter plate next to it. Next is a harebell dinner setting from someone else with a blue runner down the middle. It highlights the harebell pattern better than is displayed on a plain white tablecloth. Next is a harebell brunch place setting. Harebell is quite popular, and that adds the little fruit nappies. And there's the place setting for the brunch. My next pattern is more Christmassy. It's a maroon background or dark red background on the plates. It's Maroon Princess, and I've shown it here with a Chantilly 7-inch plate on top of it. The Chantilly pattern is exactly the same flower as the Maroon Princess. It does not have the edging and the border to it. This is a late dinnerware set, and it comes with a 15-inch platter and 2 covered veg. The place setting is shown here where you can see the covered veg, and it has the addition of a Royal Crown Derby Posies cup and saucer to show you how similar those patterns are. I love both of them, and now I realized after I had them on display why I like them both so much. Next up is Oleander Regency with a dinner plate and an 8-inch plate, and the 9-inch vegetable dish and a relish dish from my collection, or something else to show on the table. And the wine dishes are changed to pink wine dishes to add a little color. These are on all black backgrounds so that they will photograph better. The dinnerware place setting shows here the best that I can in the light that was available. And that seems a little quiet. It's rather elegant, but it could be jazzed a little bit. So I added Wileman Art Nouveau plates. They're 9-inch plates that I have a set of 8 of them, I believe, that I got from Betty Pomish. She's the one who found these. I love that plate with the oleander. Next is, I pulled out some 8-inch plates of oleander chintzes and added the oleander cups and saucers to it to brighten it up a bit, because you can always use the dinner set from the oleander Regency underneath any of the footed oleanders. And a close-up of the oleander along with Summer Glory chintz. Next, this dinnerware set is pink. It's a pale pink dainty. I found 6 dinner plates on this out in the fields at Newark in about 1997 when I was first collecting, and it was 20 years before I found another piece of it. I added 6-inch or 8-inch salad plates and 6-inch bread and butter plates by buying extras, but I searched for them for a very long time. I could never find anything in pink. The dinnerware set, that you can see the color a little better, the table setting, is a plain pink dainty plate, a pink dainty 8-inch plate, but it has gold trim on it. And the bread and butter plates are the tea plates that come with the teacup. The teacup has a green handle to it. And then if you want to change it up a little bit, you can add a few wildflower pieces. And I added my bunny jello mold to it, and yellow with blue handles, cups and saucers. So there's a lemonade set on the table, wildflower bread and butter plates, and my pretty little rabbit. A close-up of the place settings. I have rosebud cups and saucers in Gainsborough that come with a plate that I didn't put with this, and that are very near matches to a pink rose dinner plate that I found half a dozen of. I have had the exact match in a dainty shape on this pink rose, but it is not rosebud, although I say it is in the slide. The rosebud flower is slightly different and does not include any of the gray. A close up of the pattern, you can see that it is not rosebud, and the cup and saucer are 7447, the early rose. But it looks just fine on the same table. This is the second dinnerware set that I got. I got it while I lived in Scotland, and it's Sunrise and Tall Trees. And the centerpiece on this is an 8578, very large lustre bowl. This has the china covered dish, and notice that that's diamond shaped, which I think is just fabulous. The plates are set as square plates, and the bread and butter plate is a diamond shaped plate. You can see in front of this place setting here, you can see the gravy boat and the platter. The gravy boat is china, and the platter and the 2 plates are earthenware. A close-up of the place setting shows a couple of extra bits that don't really go with the dinnerware set, and that's coasters that Ray Reynolds made in the Sunrise and Tall Tree pattern and a pretty little box that I've included to show off. Here is someone else's sunrise and tall trees dinnerware setting, probably for Thanksgiving. If you'll note both the place settings for 8 and the pumpkins in the middle on the pewterware. Then another dinnerware set is Wildflower, which is shown here with the serving bowls on this Wildflower set are a round fruit bowl and a square fruit bowl, which I put to illustrate the extra pieces that could be used with Wildflower, and a Wildflower gravy boat and stand. The Wildflower dinnerware is very hard to find. Someone I knew in the UK said that she had looked for a gravy boat for 20 years and never found one. And when she found a whole dinnerware set for 12, she bought it. She kept the gravy boat and then sold off all of the other pieces. That's one way to skin a cat. This is just a simple place setting of Wildflower. The next picture is a Serenity pattern, which I use every day in Florida. We keep it on open shelves, and it has silver edgings around it, and they go in the dishwasher whenever we use them. I have not got a platter with it, but I do have creamer and sugar and a gravy boat, and I found several vegetable bowls. So I use an extra dinner plate for a platter when I need one. And this is a close setting of the Serenity dinnerware pattern. The other set that I use in Florida on an every other day basis is Montrose, which is a Richmond shaped dinnerware. And it has soup plates here, and you can see the tiny silver border and the turquoise polka dot, which I love. And I have place settings of that for 6 or 8. The next dinner setting is a Borgfeld pattern set for Christmas. And the pattern number on the plates is 11303. This predates the Blue Iris, and it's from 1923. In 1923, Shelley issued a number of patterns that originated with Borgfeld out of New York. And Marcus Shelley gave a talk on them at the Tampa conference. This is one dinnerware setting with Borgfeld plates. Here's another with plates and salad plates and bread and butters, but only 4, because that's all I've ever been able to find. I'm going back to the pattern so that you can see it more clearly. There are 2 of us who would like to have more pieces of this if you happen to have bits that you'd like to be rid of. The next dinnerware is Rambler Rose. And you notice again the colored fabric in the middle shows off and highlights the color pink in the dinnerware set. This one has tea and a relish dish and a standing plate. The next dinnerware set is for 6 and is Campanula on Dainty. And if you notice in the middle of that set, there are a pair of candlesticks in Campanula and an unusual bowl with tabs on it that's about the size of a fruit dish. a close-up of Campanula. And a couple more pieces of Campanula. I have not got quite as clear a picture of a stocks dinnerware place setting, but please note the small butter dish, which is hard to find, and the gravy boat. And there are a couple of other serving pieces down at the end of the table. The platter here. This is chantilly on oleander. I showed chantilly a while ago when it was placed as a 7-inch plate on Richmond with the Maroon Princess dinnerware set. This is the dinner plate size, and it's just set for a luncheon with 4 place settings and casual sandwiches and fruit. A close-up of a full place setting, which includes a fruit nappy. And a footed oleander in chantilly. This is a bridal rose on dainty from another member. And there are a number of serving pieces tucked back toward the back of the display. And this includes the 9-inch soup plates as well as fruit nappies. Next up is Regency dainty that is displayed with some cobalt blue highlights and silver, and set up for Christmas with some cranberry glass as well. So there are lots of different ways to change up your white dinnerware. My absolute favorite, I have dinner plates in, but belongs, the whole set, which is a glorious set for 12, belongs to another member. And this is pattern number 12764. It's shown here for 4. A close-up of a place setting is shown here. A close-up of the plate is shown. And that's so stunning to me. I just love it. And I sent a picture of this to Carolyn, asking if she could identify a pattern name. And what she came back to me with was this, which is its predecessor by a couple hundred pattern numbers. And this is Old Bow, which comes from an old, this is a version of Old Bow, which comes from an old other China shop. Old Bow pattern number. And finally, a mini dainty dinnerware set, which includes mini cups and saucers and the little, these actually are 4-inch mini plates that was put together by another club member. And the patterns that are displayed are blue poppy, dainty pink, campanula, rose pansy, forget-me-not, rosebud. Then I'm going to skip to this one. Blue rock, stocks, and I believe that one on the left is violets. But isn't that a charming dinnerware set? Finally, thank you. With special thanks to Doug Ashley, who rescued the photography because we couldn't get colors to show up in the dining room window because of all of the light. Betty Pumish, Irene Shelley, Carolyn Keating for Old Bow information, Nance Carpenter, Bernie Doyle, Marcus Shelley for his talk on the Borgfeld's patterns in Tampa of 2019, Chris Davenport's book, Shelley, The Later Years, and Susan Hill's The Shelley Style. And a huge thank you to Mike who put this all into PowerPoint for me. I could not have done it. Thank you.
Anyone have questions? Please raise your hands. So. Okay.
Rocky, it's Lyle. I've got a question.
Oh yeah, please.
Lynn, could you explain this Borgfeld thing again? I've never heard of this.
Borgfeld is a New York dealer, and I believe he's a wholesaler to others. Marcus would be better to address Borgfeld than me. I got the information from him. And in 1923, there are half a dozen at least patterns that are labeled or named Borgfeld patterns. It includes Swansea lace, some unusual patterns in the 20s. And then, Marcus, can
Yes.
you help?
Yeah, Borgfeld was a huge importer of wares. They imported all kinds of china. At one time, they employed 10 different factories in Limoges, France. They brought in wares from England. They brought in toys, dolls. If you just type in Borgfeld today on eBay, up will come about 200 items. These items are going to be their toys. They mark their toys Borgfeld, but much of the china was not marked, whether it be Limoges or English wares. So they would actually hire a company like Shelley and buy what the Shelley company would make available. And so I went to the pattern books when I had the chance and specifically studied the Borgfeld notations that are in the pattern books. And as with other customers, Shelley wrote down the Borgfeld is like the customer, like lollies or something. And it had particular patterns that when a customer would call back that had bought the Shelley pattern that bought through Borgfeld, they would have a reference of what this was. Now, I don't believe the patterns were unique to Borgfeld, meaning that they could have made these patterns for other buyers as well, other wholesalers. So I don't know that it was exclusively a Borgfeld pattern. I think it was more just a reference, but I'm pretty sure that it was the Borgfeld of America. Borgfeld had at one time 6 importing offices around the world. It had a dozen, this was all in my presentation in Tampa. It had a dozen distributor locations around the United States. So it had not only New York, it had Chicago, Boston, West Coast. So they really were doing a lot of work. Now, Canada, by the way, the name survives in Canada. The name Borgfeld is still a Canadian toy importer today. So that's where the information comes from. That's Borgfeld. There's about.
Thanks, Marcus. I appreciate
it. You'll know not to ask me a question again. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay, Donna, please go.
Just a little question. You mentioned that one of your platinum rimmed tableware you put in the dishwasher, and I thought that was unsafe. How do you get away with it?
It's silver and I put it in. I just do. I don't put cups in the dishwasher, but I put all of the rest of it in. And I use it 6 months a year. Both have silver.
Is silver safer than gold to put in?
I don't know. I put gold in the dishwasher too. I got tired of washing Oleander Regency after Christmas when there were 14 place settings. And my sister and I would vote before Christmas about whether or not we were going to use it, because we were the ones who washed it up, and I put it all in the dishwasher except for the cups. It's fine. And the other thing that makes it easier to use the patterns that I do use in the dishwasher is that it's fairly easy to replace a lot of them on eBay now, and they're relatively inexpensive. I have purchased a set of 12 dinner plates in Oleander Regency for $50. I put it in the dishwasher. And it makes life so much easier, and I get to use it.
Nice. And a bunch of thank you to Lynn in the chat, and also a question from Alada. Okay, it's what's the pattern name of your silverware?
The sixth place setting is First Love, which was my mother's silver plate pattern.
Mhm.
And it comes with the extra fork and knife that are for starters. And the silver pattern that shows with some of the other things is Cameo, which was also my mother's. That was her sterling. It was from Reed and Barton.
Cool. Okay. Cool. Any other?
Thank you. Thank you all for watching.